welcome to this episode of Steve's Horse Show. Today, we are talking about what some might call dressage or dressage with Valley View Equestrian Center.
It is dressage. It's French.
I wanted to talk to somebody about dressage. My mom competes, and so I've known, that I needed to do something in dressage. But also, I think that dressage, hopefully, not only will it touch the crowd, and get a different, little bit different discipline in the horse world, but also, I think dressage kind of is applicable to a lot of different disciplines in horses.
On today's episode, I have a instructor here that is near and dear to my heart because she works with my mother. And that is how we got to know each other. And today she's going to talk to us a little bit about what she does here. Robin, go ahead and introduce yourself too.
I'm Robin Hessel. I own Valley View Equestrian Center in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This is a riding, training, learning, and show facility. We do shows here through Central Plains Dressage Society, which is a new club.
Okay.
We have 6 weekends of recognized shows and about 6 weekends of schooling shows, which are learning shows here at this facility.
Okay.
The club itself does probably another 6 to 8 shows in the other areas, Tulsa and Oklahoma City.
Gotcha.
So it's a pretty active club and lots and lots of activities. The shows are followed by a clinic, which is a really good learning opportunity for any rider.
Gotcha.
But hot today.
It is. We're trying to do this in the middle of July.
I know.
That was my bad. And Perry made us turn all the fans off, so that's his fault.
Yeah. So we have a show coming up this weekend. It'll be Saturday, so it'll be hot, but we'll survive. And then the show's followed usually by a 2-day clinic with the judge, and so that's what we're doing this time.
So people can come in for the show and then
That's right.
stay.
Then
Gotcha.
they can stay and ride for the clinic.
Gotcha.
And that's a great learning opportunity. It's something that we're able to do here because we're all in one facility.
Sure.
It's not so easy to do at a fairgrounds where you can't have the facility for the next 2
Gotcha.
days. But
Gotcha.
this one you can have.
Gotcha.
So that's what we do here, and it makes it really great for the judge because it gives them an opportunity to teach. It wasn't originated as a competition.
Right.
It was originated as training of the horse. Dressage means dressing the horse or training of the horse.
Right.
So the competition comes only as a way to gain people together, to take a test, and to evaluate
gives us a
where
way
we
to
are.
evaluate, right.
Dressage means training of the horse. So it's like the most sophisticated training language that you might communicate with your horse. So we deal with a horse, and there's a horse behind us. The basic gaits, walk, trot, and canter, and then we use gymnastic exercises to help that horse to become a better gymnast,
Gotcha.
a better athlete. Then through that, they can become a jumper, or they can become a reining horse, or they can become an endurance horse, or whatever it is,
Sure.
or they can become a upper level
Continue to go
dressage
on.
horse.
Sure.
So dressage goes from basically training level to Grand Prix, which would be like kindergarten to PhD.
Right. Gotcha.
So the judge evaluates.
So every move
each
will say,
movement.
you do this move, and now how much of
And
these
then
characteristics were
right,
involved in.
and
Okay.
then they get a score.
Gotcha.
So then the score is 0 to 10. So they get a score for that movement, for the next movement, for the next movement, and then you total all the scores together and take a certain percentage of the total points possible, and you come up with what you scored.
Okay.
Usually it's in the 60%.
Okay.
And when people first come to dressage, they're like, oh, 60%.
That's failing.
Like, yeah, that's like a D, dude.
I got in trouble in school for that.
Yeah, that's awful. But in this world, it's a good score.
Gotcha.
It's right.
People, with someone that's, very, very new, I just bought a saddle. I'm, very new. What do you work on as far as, when they first come here?
You work first on the riders form.
Okay.
They
You have to work on the rider first before
yeah, and the best program is if they can sit on an already schooled horse.
let the horse teach the rider a little bit, so to
schoolmaster.
say. Gotcha.
Right. If they can sit on a schooled horse, then they can learn to ride in balance. They can learn to sit up straight, keep their legs long, be quiet, so that they become an effective rider. And if they sit on a schooled horse, when they do something right, the horse says, "Oh yes, I know exactly what that
Right.
means."
I know what you want.
And then the rider says, "Oh, that's how it works."
Gotcha.
So that's how I like to start riders.
Okay.
But we also start riders, green horse, green rider. We do that also. It just takes a lot longer.
Sure.
But it's all about the partnership between the horse and the rider.
Okay.
And this is a sport that really does, it's very important to ride every day,
Gotcha.
or as often as possible. You can't ride once a week. You can't send the horse to the trainer and say, "Oh, I'm just going to show up on Saturdays and ride." Just,
This is not the weekend.
it doesn't stay
Yeah.
like that.
Gotcha.
Any horse can do it.
Right.
Anybody can learn to play golf. Any horse can learn dressage and have better self-carriage and have better performance.
Right.
But not everybody is going to be Tiger Woods. Not every
Gotcha.
horse is going to make it to Grand Prix. A very
Gotcha.
small number do.
Sure.
So
When you have those riders, the more advanced riders, I mean, that kind of covers the basic. When you have the more advanced riders, do they know what they need help with and they need to work on,
Yes.
and they just tell you, "I need help with such and such," or do they just come to you and you try to, kind of pick apart what you think they need to work on, or how does that work?
is helping them get better balance, finding the things that they're having trouble with, coming up with new exercises or ways to help the horse understand
see.
and help the rider understand.
Yeah.
And men and women compete equally.
Gotcha.
There is no division, and it's not about just you, it's about your relationship with that horse.
Gotcha.
Because you can put the top riders in the world on an ordinary horse, and the horse will look a little better than ordinary.
Yeah.
But he's still going to be ordinary.
Right.
But you put him on a brilliant horse, and then you have an Olympic team.
Relationship. Gotcha. That's really interesting.
So
You mentioned the shows that y'all have here. Obviously, I'm assuming, were you a part of forming the club and stuff like that, or did you just join, or how did that?
no, the club's pretty new.
Okay.
So in Oklahoma, there's 2 what they call group member organizations.
Okay. Gotcha.
Most people join both clubs.
Oh, okay.
Because they have friends in both clubs and
Sure.
they want to do different things.
Gotcha.
So the club is really important because it provides the reward system for all your effort.
Gotcha.
So we take all of the scores at the end of the year, and you get special prizes,
Right.
and so that's one part of it. But the other part is the social aspect.
Right.
It's
It's a hobby, so it should be fun. Yeah.
even riding by herself is fun because she gets to have fun with her horse and practice these lofty, beautiful movements. But it's a whole lot more fun when we ride together.
Right.
Or when I have other students come and ride with
Gotcha.
Carrie. Then it's like, oh, look what he just learned. This is just great.
Sure. From the last show, there's so much different. Right.
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 So thank you, Carrie. That was great. So the fun part is through the basic aids that you use in dressage, just the basic aids, you are able to inspire that horse to offer brilliance,
Gotcha.
which is a little bit of what he was offering right here. They can do flying lead changes, but it's not just, oh, I just flop from this lead, cantering like this, to cantering like this. That's not it. It has to be fluid and supple and round and a clear rhythm. So it's the
Right.
quality of the gait or the movement that is more important than just doing it.
Right.
So riding together inspires people. It's really fun. This facility is just such a blessing because it, even in the middle of summer, even though it's a little bit hot, it's not that bad. We ride. We have wonderful shows here. One of our best features, if you want to take a picture of it, is our footing.
Yeah.
This footing has been called the best footing in the United States by one of the highest riders in the United States. And it is a
Shout
mixture
out.
of,
Get it, Perry.
yeah, this is really good footing. And people talk about it all the time because it's just perfect. It's a mixture of sandy loam,
Okay.
which is readily available,
Right.
crumb rubber, which I order from a plant here in Oklahoma, and it gives it the black color.
Okay.
And then Euro felt, which is literally the felt
That's the
that you
felt part.
see.
Gotcha.
And those three mixed together in a certain mix provides a springy footing that doesn't slide, so it wouldn't be for raining.
Gotcha.
That's her favorite thing. He's really good at it. But she braided him up, and if she was going to a show, she would be presenting him this way.
Gotcha.
So it's just lovely, and he loves it. He thinks. We also do weddings, auctions, obedience
All
training,
kinds of stuff.
agility training. We do all that kind of stuff
Awesome.
too.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're pretty busy. This place is really multifunctional.
Gotcha.
But
That's
it's,
awesome.
I built it specifically for this reason, and I built the gallery, which we have behind us, so people can audit during clinics. So it's for
Right.
education, number one, and then showing is education. You do learn from showing,
Right.
as well as get a pretty ribbon. But
If you get a ribbon.
if you get
Not
a ribbon,
everyone gets ribbons here.
not
Don't tell me
everybody,
that.
unless you're like 4, and then everybody gets a ribbon. That's different. But dressage takes time, and it does. You don't have to sit.
There's no shortcuts.
No shortcuts. There's no tricks.
Yeah.
There's no. There's
Just
no.
buy this 1, 2, 3 course and.
No. There's no violence. There's no torture. There's no meanness. There's no room for that. The horses do this because they're willing and want to do this.
Can't force them
make
into. Yeah.
You cannot. And the relationship between the rider and the horse is precious. So that's what really makes it fun for
Big
me.
part.
I started riding when I was really small and was fortunate enough to have a German instructor who
Huh.
started me in
Oh, wow.
dressage, but of course I was young and wanted to run and jump, so I went off and did jumping. And,
That's so your wildest.
yeah, I was, and did a lot of the different sports, but always kept dressage as something that was very important to me.
Fundamental.
And went through all of the different aspects of teaching and training, and I think the thing that I have learned going from training level to Grand Prix and receiving my gold medal is that you always have to put the horse first. It's always the horse first. So the rider learns to be the coach, the mentor, the therapist, the doctor, or providing medical services to make the horse the best
But the
athlete
horse
he
has
can
to
be.
do it.
It comes back to the horse.
Yeah.
It's not about the rider.
Gotcha.
It's about the horse. Even in the competition, our outfits, the clothes that we wear, are orchestrated to make us all look the same, because they don't want focus on the person. They want the focus on the horse.
Gotcha.
So it's very old discipline. The first writings were 400 BC,
Wow.
and then through the centuries it was preserved, both through the Lipizzan stallions, and the Dark Ages, and the terrible things that happened to horses in Europe, and then it's fairly new in the United States. But just like everything we do in America, we're doing it big and fast.
Yeah.
We're not sitting around for 1,000 years.
Pouring a little gas on the fire.
That's right. We get it done here. So
What's your favorite? Do you like to teach more or ride? What's your choice?
I love both. I really do. I love to ride. I have an awesome horse. I love him. He's the biggest.
Do you do
biggest
project
thing.
horses and try to bring them up, or do you work
I
with?
do both.
You do both.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So my horse right now, I'm training him for Grand Prix. Then I have a young horse that is coming along, and we'll see that if he turns out to be a
What
Tiger
unfolds.
Woods or what he
Sure.
is. I don't know.
That's awesome.
So then the other horses usually are for sale.
Gotcha.
So we ride them, train them, and sell them.
Oh, cool.
And we do a lot of that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I think this sport really, really sets itself apart because it takes forever to train the horse.
Yeah.
They're not done in a year.
You can't.
They're
Yeah.
never done.
No shortcuts.
And the rider's never done.
Yeah.
You're never
Yeah, that's
done.
what's cool is it really is all age. I mean, you can't.
Learning.
Not too old to do anything, or too young to.
No, you're always learning something new. And you sit on a new horse, and that horse teaches you something.
Start all over again. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's so exciting, and it's really fun to work together with a horsey. And I think the education is the part I love the most.
Yeah.